जी करे देखता रहूं।
क्या?
कितना प्यारा तुझे रब ने बनाया, कितना प्यारा तुझे रब ने बनाया। जी कर देखता रहूं, कितना सोना तुझे रब ने बनाया, कितना सोना तुझे रब ने बनाया। जी कर देखता रहूं। रब ने बनाया, जी कर देखता रहूं। वो कितना सोना तुझे रब ने बनाया, जी कर देखता रहूं। अंबर से आई है परियों की रानी, देख जिसे होती है सबको हैरानी। ओ अंबर से आई है परियों की रानी, देख जिसे होती है सबको हैरानी। सुंदर सा मुखड़ा है फूलों के जैसा, होगा ना दुनिया में कोई ऐसा।
कितना सीधा, कितना सच्चा मेरा राजा, कितना अच्छा। मुझको तो अच्छी लगती है तेरी हर नादानी, मुझको तो रब ने बनाया, जी कर देखता रहूं। कितना सोना तुझे रब ने बनाया, जी कर देखता रहूं। कोयल के जैसी है तेरी ये बोली, मूरत के जैसी है सूरत ये भोली। ओ कोयल के जैसी है तेरी ये बोली, मूरत के जैसी है सूरत ये भोली। बागों में जाओ ना दिल मेरा घबराए, पैरों में कांटा कोई हाय न चुभ जाए। मैं दीवानी हो ना जाऊं, तेरी बातों में खो ना जाऊं। उड़ता बादल बहता पानी बोले रुत मस्तानी, उड़ता बादल बहता पानी बोले रुत मस्तानी।
क्या?
सबसे प्यारा मेरा यारा राजा हिंदुस्तानी।
तुझे रब ने बनाया, कितना सोना तुझे रब ने बनाया, जी कर देखता रहूं।
तू है पागल, तू है जोकर, तू है दिलबर जानी, सबसे प्यारा मेरा यारा राजा हिंदुस्तानी।
इतना प्यारा तुझे रब ने बनाया, जी कर देखता रहूं। जी करे देखता रहूं।
जोकर।
परदेसी जाना नहीं, परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, मुझे छोड़ के परदेसी मेरे यारा, वादा निभाना तुम याद रखना, कहीं भूल न जाना।
परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, मुझे छोड़ के
हर पल मेरी याद तुम्हें तड़पाएगी, मैं जागूंगा नींद तुम्हें ना आएगी। हर पल मेरी याद तुम्हें तड़पाएगी, मैं जागूंगा नींद तुम्हें ना आएगी। छोड़ के ऐसे हाल में जो तुम जाओगे, सच कहता हूँ जान बहुत पछताओगे।
परदेसी मेरे यारा, मुझे ना रुलाना, तुम याद रखना कहीं भूल न जाना।
परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं। मुझे छोड़ के परदेसी मेरे यारा, वादा निभाना, मुझे याद रखना कहीं भूल न जाना।
Primarily, my brand is built to help people feel better about themselves, men especially. I'm trying to validate men's emotions, saying that, yeah, you're a man and you're going to feel a certain way, and you're allowed to get angry, and that doesn't automatically make you toxic. And you have ambition, and yes, it's going to be hard, but you can accomplish it, and you want to get these things done. And if you listen to me and you take in what I say, you notice a tangible, real improvement in your everyday life all around you. When people approach me on the street, they don't say, "Wow, you're hilarious." They come up and say, "You changed my life." We had this massive amount of potential energy sitting on the suppressed spirit of the entire masculine population across the planet, and then I stood up and voiced it, and everyone was like, "That's exactly how I feel." I didn't know I was allowed to say that. I'd like to think I helped a lot of people, and I was really just saying things we all already knew were true. Saying water is what benefited me, and it benefited the world. So I kept saying it, and it got me into a lot of trouble in the end, because it turns out saying water is what teaches men to stand up for themselves. The last thing they want is men to stop being afraid of them. Most men in the world today are still scared of them. For some reason, most men are still afraid of the system. They're afraid of being ostracized. They're afraid of losing their job. There are a bunch of men going to work tomorrow morning, worried that the HR department is going to call them in if they make a joke that's even slightly risky. That's their reality. They do that job and go home to their loveless marriage and have kids who barely acknowledge them. And they sit there in quiet desperation, contemplating ending it all, but they might as well pay off the mortgage first, and that's their existence. I know that's true because I learned a lot about sexual dynamics and how desperate many men's lives are from my webcam company, which I don't talk about much. I watched men sit online with every spare second and every spare dollar. They had just to have a girl pretend to care about them. And they weren't failures because it's expensive. They were successful men with wives just sitting there talking to some girl on the other side of the world all day. It's sad. Why are these guys so pressed? He's a pilot. Why does his life feel so empty? And then my cam girl is telling me how miserable his life is and that he sent her all his money. It's wild, and it's worse now because that was all before OnlyFans. The kind of money I was making back then is nothing compared to what's being sent on OnlyFans today. It's a complete implosion of the things that made society function, primarily men and women being in love and having a value exchange. He protects and provides. I support him and give him children. Now girls just want money for nothing, or they're getting money for nothing. OnlyFans money is just flowing to them, and they're posting pictures of themselves, and you know what. The girls who do OnlyFans and make $100 million a year and all that crazy stuff, fine. If you're going to post pictures and get 50 million, cool. But 99, 9% of girls on OnlyFans are posting explicit pictures for pennies. It's embarrassing. The world feels finished. And why do they do it? Because they're doing it until they find a man who will pay their bills. Women have always leveraged sex to their advantage. In a world where they prioritize money over children, what else are they going to use it for? They're all some version of a digital escort or sugar baby or full-time professional girlf, and hopping from one guy to the next. Is that really different from a prostitute? You're with men to pay your bills and buy you handbags, and the second you break up, you find another man with money to keep funding your lifestyle. That's just having one client at a time. The world is completely upside down. It's crazy. Do I think men and women can be friends? No. I don't believe men and women can truly be friends, because if you're a man with any level of testosterone, I don't see why you'd even want that. Your friends are supposed to bring utility. My friends are useful, and the women I'm romantically involved with are useful. They can do things with me or for me. What utility is a female friend? She's not protecting me on the street. She's not bringing business ideas. She's going to expect me to pay if something happens and I have to protect her. Advice. Any guy taking serious advice from a woman, he's not even sleeping with, needs to reconsider his life. So there's no real advantage. What is she giving you? Why would you be friends with a woman when you're giving attention and getting nothing in return? There has to be a value exchange. I don't see the logic. Women get attention and validation from a man they know wants more than friendship. The whole setup is ridiculous, and women who say, "Oh, he's just my friend, he doesn't like me like that," they know exactly what's going on. Look, women need constant validation. We all do. But men seek validation for competence, capability, power, whether physical or financial. We want validation too, but women primarily want validation for how they look. That's the basic trade. Men give attention to get sex, and women give sex to get attention. I'll give him sex so he stays interested. We gave attention to get the sex. That was the exchange. Now women can get attention without sex through social media, and that's why their egos are inflated. I've seen average women talking about what they deserve in a man, and it's unbelievable. And the funny part is they rarely get it. The girls on podcasts claiming they're a 9 demanding a millionaire who treats them perfectly, then they leave and go to some broke guy giving them scraps and chaos. The fact they even say it publicly is astonishing, but that's what constant online validation does. The algorithm feeds them that narrative. Women often follow group consensus. They see another average girl getting flown to Dubai by some older guy, and it's constantly in their ear. Meanwhile, the factory worker down the road who would have married her a generation ago doesn't stand a chance. Instead, she's chasing a billionaire, and if she can't get that excitement, she chases danger. She needs dopamine. She's addicted to TikTok. It's a mess. The traditional social contract of meeting, marrying, building a small family home is fading. Being 20 today would be rough. When I was 20, the girls I met were accessible. Now, how does that even work? 21-year-olds are flying internationally. They're in penthouses. You ask how old they are, and they say 22. You ask where they're from, and they say Lithuania. You wonder when they left home. They say they're adults. The 22-year-old Lithuanian guy making $200 a month has no chance. The dating market is globalized. A few cities dominate. Everything revolves around money. I don't know how it all ends, but it's being pushed because it results in fewer children. In the 50s and 60s, marriage and family were widely accepted. Even men couldn't cheat without social consequences. Then women said they wanted independence and choice. Fine. Then many chose the same top-tier men. At high status, you can bend the rules. People say you can't cheat or she'll leave. If you're broke, maybe. If you're rich, she often won't. Replacing that level of wealth isn't easy. At a certain status, they tolerate more. Don't over-idealize any woman. Half the planet is female. She's not some mystical being. Don't obsess. I never struggled with women because I didn't chase them. Forget obsessing over women. Focus on yourself. Become strong, wealthy, intelligent. Women become an addition, not the mission. It's easier to level yourself up and then attract quality women than to run around chasing numbers all day. Don't lose your self-respect chasing someone. Women are also a mirror. They reflect how the world sees you. The difference between harassment and charm is often presentation and status. The same words land differently depending on who says them. If a woman leaves you, analyze why. You can't control her, but you can improve yourself. Use it as feedback. Everything is a value exchange. Calling women gold diggers is simplistic. There's always a balance of pros and cons. Add enough value and flaws get tolerated. Time is money. If you're broke, you must always be present. If you're successful, you can be busy and still maintain the relationship. The modern dating market, despite complaints, was shaped by choices made over time. Polygamy, at least, has transparency and obligation. In the West, multiple women may share one man unknowingly with no obligation. How is that better? At least in structured polygamy, there's honesty and responsibility. Look at primates. One dominant male, many females, other males sidelined. Power comes in different forms: money, physicality, status. They add up. The alpha ages, loses dominance, and walks away alone. That's life. If it's your prime, use it wisely. Feminism and modern standards have created a market where money dictates desirability. A few numbers in your bank account can transform your experience. If you had more money, many of your stresses would vanish. You wouldn't feel trapped, anxious, rushed. How much of your life are you spending doing things you don't even want to do?